on a whole bunch of different things. I'm a little unconventional, I'm a little unprofessional, but I've been doing this for about almost 20 years now. And I've just learned that the best way is just to be yourself and not really try to try. And I've worked with tons of companies, and I've noticed that there's a big trend in companies. It was cool when I spoke to Jeanette. Jeanette, we miss you, Jeanette. That she said you guys are remote workers. How many people here are remote workers? We're working. Almost everybody, eh? Yeah. So you guys, who works from their pajamas? Make some noise here. You don't have to admit that. Yeah. Well, regardless, I'm glad you came here, and it's kind of a weird thing working remotely. I know I do talk to companies about this all the time, and they talk about how hard it is to stay connected in their workplace. And so this is something actually I do talk to people about, and I just want to let you guys know that even though you guys are far away from each other working, is this going to work? I'm going to turn it on. There it is. There you go. Even though you're physically apart, you're still an intricate part of each other's personal lives, all right? I know you know this, you're each a really important part, a vital cog in this organization that helps everything go really smoothly. And without you, things would fall apart. And that's the truth. Do you remember, though, what life was like before remote work? Pre-pandemic? Hey, when people hated going to work, right? You hated the traffic, and the scheduling, and you remember this phrase, toxic work environment? Remember that? Well, you know what? When remote working actually became a thing again, you lost all those things, but you also lost really important things. You lost camaraderie sometimes in the workplace. You lost the drive, the going up in managerial and getting promotions and getting raises. That kind of hit the curb. And you also lost the shared sense of purpose that came with seeing each other every single day. So who is responsible for getting anybody to come into the office? Well, one guy is, I don't know if you've ever heard of Frederick Winslow Taylor. Frederick Winslow Taylor was actually nicknamed the father of managerial science. He was the first boss and the worst boss ever. This guy would stand over you with a clock and time you. He would time his people, and then when they stopped working, he'd hit the clock, and when they started again, he'd hit it. He actually created the punch in and punch out. He created the managerial levels. Everything that you know about work was created by Frederick Winslow Taylor. He's a bit of a douchebag. The second person that's involved with bringing you guys is a guy named Frank Lloyd Wright. Anybody heard of him? He's a famous architect. He actually made the circular building in Abbotsford. I don't know if you know that circular big apartment building they have there. He was the one that actually made that. He made a ton of different buildings. But he was the first guy to make a building that was exclusively for employees. So what he did is he created a building with a big atrium in the middle. It's actually in Buffalo, New York. And it's called the Larkin Administration Building. It had a big atrium in the middle. There's desks with no partitions. Everyone's got a window. They have a lunchroom. They have a smoking room. All of that was created here in this building for the first time. That building's still in use today. But when he made it exclusively to make it so employees, when they came into work, that they felt like this is where I want to be for 40 hours a week, right? And he did a good job. Also, a douchebag, sorry. And the third guy, you can see the pattern happening here, these guys and their questionable characters. This is Henry Ford. Henry Ford, of course, made the first automobile, right, about 100 years ago. He was a good boss in a way. He made it so his vehicles were affordable for people to buy. So he gave all of his employees a vehicle at cost. But he was really big on getting people in the building, having you sit there and work and build that company from the inside out, right? And he really believed that coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, and working together is a success. All right, so who do you guys think, now remote working came into the 70s, around the 70s is when it started. What company do you think was the first company to do remote working? Take a guess. 1970s, big company, tech was on the rise. Microsoft, you're close. Apple, you're close. I don't think Apple's around there. IBM. Yeah, IBM was the first company to actually roll out remote work. And they said because they felt like, obviously they wanted to cut costs. They thought cutting costs. And also they thought if people could just roll out of bed and into work, that they'd be more productive. Right? There wasn't distractions back there, and there wasn't the internet and all that stuff back then. But it's a funny thing that in 2017, IBM actually called everybody back in because they found out that in their profession, in their industry, collaboration was needed a little bit of in-person magic. So you had to bring the people in to work together. And it's funny because after pandemic, remember all these companies started calling all their workers back in? And a lot of these companies called them back in because they found that the bonds that you forge over coffee breaks and brainstorming sessions could not be duplicated or replicated on a Zoom call. It was very difficult, so they wanted people back in. So how do you create those same connections if you're committed to working in a remote work world? Now, I'm not going to take too long on this, but I'm going to tell you 3 steps that I talk to companies about. And I talk to leadership and to management, and I encourage you guys to do this. They may seem a little crazy, but it's all about keeping connected and keeping everybody connected when they're not together. And step number one is you have to learn about each other. You have to go out there and actually care about each other. And I asked you guys at the very beginning to do a little exercise for me and to fill out some sheets and confess some things about yourself. And I'm going to read a couple of them out. We're just going to pick some random ones out here. And some of them have names on them and some of them don't. And maybe we can guess who actually did these. This one here, guess who said this? I lock out people's email when they don't do their training. Who do you think that is? Is that you, buddy? No. Anyone have a guess? It's Brett. That one was Brett's. This one has no name. Sometimes I love and start enjoying Addie's and Ferdy's heated debate, and I forget to put in my input. Who said that one? Christian. Yes? You ringing? How about this one? When I sell a house in Vancouver, I hide the rat traps during open houses. Who's selling houses here? Bonnie, that's not you. Who do you think dances while cleaning the house? Who dances while cleaning the house? Yeah. Who did that one? Put your hand up. Who did that one? Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Let's do a couple more here. I confess to nothing. I confess I watched Gilligan's Island. Okay. That's not a confession. Oh, how about this one? I confess I like to wake up in the middle of the night and eat sweets. Wow. Whose is that one? Go on, this is a good one. Who's that one? Can you let me know? Is that you? Senor. Very good. All right, let's do a couple more here. There's a good one. I confess that sometimes I join online meetings from home. The business part of my outfit ends exactly at the camera line. I don't want to know. I am enjoying this alone away from kids. I'm enjoying this time alone away from kids. I confess. Very good. Let's do just 2 more. No, can't. How about this? I confess I have not submitted my expenses this year. Oh, shame. Where's your CFO? Oh, Christine! It started to get hot in here all of a sudden. I didn't know you were the CFO. Okay. I confess I had 3 dates the day I met my sweetheart. What? Oh, I want to know who wrote that one. Wait, one more. Sometimes we pump out in the English Bay. Okay, I don't know what that means, but who knows what that means. Anyways, now we know that about you and about your sweets and all that. You guys, you're one step closer to connection, which is understanding and knowing about the people that are around you. And which leads us to step number 2. It's about caring about each other. And this is about knowing the small details in somebody's life. And it's also about genuinely valuing the humanity of your coworkers, knowing things about them that matter. What's the new baby's name? How's the new puppy adjusting? You know, what's your favorite show on Netflix right now? All these little things really matter to help you stay connected. And what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to take all of these confessions and I'm going to put them on a PDF for you, okay? And I'm going to make sure that your leaders give each one of you one of these, and I want you to keep it by your workplace. And if you confess to this, just write down their name that they confess to that thing, right? Do some sleuthing and find out. And I want you to use that PDF that I make you as a cheat sheet to stay connected, all right? Whether it's sending a message, you know, finding a link and sending it off, whatever it takes. Use that to be able to stay connected to everybody else, all right? And number 3, you gotta try. It's easy when you're not coming into the office and you're not there. But if you put in the effort, it will happen. You remember, like I asked you what happened before remote work? You remember what you did to stay connected with each other? You guys braved the traffic back and forth. You sat through crazy meetings in person, right? You put up with the crazy personalities in your workplace. Right, you did all that, and look at you, you're all alive, you all survived, right? So now that you're working remote, you have the time to put in that effort to connect and stay connected with each other, right? Even 1 hour a week can make all the difference in creating bonds that keep motivation and morale at ProCon high, right? So all you have to do is just try. All right, and so I'll kind of wrap it up here. You know, you guys are a company, and companies aren't just, you know, roles, the CFO, the COO, and they're not just tasks. You know, you guys are a community, right? You guys are a family. And it's my favorite saying, I say this all the time. When you connect on a personal level, you create a foundation of trust, collaboration, and support that will just make your organization stronger. All right, guys, so I'm not going to talk on too long. I talk a lot, and I could probably talk all night. But now that you know about caring, you're going to try, you're going to have a worksheet. I really, really ask you guys to stay connected from your workplace in 2026, all right? Do that, and your company's going to grow, and it's going to be always stronger. And eventually, you know, your teams are going to grow, people are going to leave, people are going to come. But if you use this worksheet and always stay connected, your company's going to be strong, right? Let's hear it for ProCon, everybody. Let's hear it. Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's do the grid games. Let's go to grid games. All right, I'm going to give away some prizes here, and I'm going to ask you guys to take out your phones. If you have a smartphone. If you have a flip phone, oh, you're screwed. Yeah, it's not going to work. Does anyone here have a flip phone? That's kind of the thing now. Okay, that's good.
Doug. He's the only one that I've seen having a flip phone.
Crossed my mind to go back, actually.
Yeah.
Go BlackBerry.
Yeah, let's hit it. Oh, you gotta probably take off this.